Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Thursday, the 26th of October 2023. In today's Millwall news, we start off with this from southwarknews.co.uk. How Millwall's managerial hunt is progressing and how bookmakers' odds have shifted the last week. Somebody's been watching the videos. Gary Rowett left his post as Lions boss 8 days ago. Oh my, it feels like 8 weeks ago, doesn't it? 8 days ago? Millwall are not putting a deadline on appointing a new manager as they continue their comprehensive search to find Gary Rowett's replacement. Adam Barrett was installed as caretaker boss on the night of Rowett's departure and has managed 2 games so far, a 1-1 draw at Preston North End and a 2-1 defeat to Blackburn Rovers. He's currently expected to lead the team out on Saturday when Millwall travel to Watford. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, the club are continuing with their thorough search for a new head coach. News that Den understands that the Lions' hierarchy has met a range of candidates in recent days, and there have been plenty of interest in the vacancy. Well, there always is. You get geezers from, you get people who've done well on Football Manager apply just for a laugh, you know. But club sources insist there will be no rush to confirm an appointment, as they are keen to carefully evaluate all of Rowett's potential successors. The interview process will have multiple stages and is similar to the approach taken before the club appointed Rowett after Neil Harris's resignation in 2019. It's not clear currently what those stages consist of. Many names have been linked to the role, and the last week has seen leading bookmakers shuffling their odds over who are the favourites to get the Millwall job. Ex-QPR manager Michael Beale is now the outright favourite among some bookies, as I told you yesterday in on the Daily Mail, the Daily Millwalls video. He had been initially among the front runners, but has now displaced Yokohama Marinos boss Kevin Muscat as the number one choice in some betting markets. BetVictor had Muscat dropping back to 8-1, down from 5-2 last Friday. Other movers include Neil Warnock, who has suddenly flown up several betting markets, having not really been among the main names last week. The vastly experienced 74-year-old boss left Huddersfield Town in September, having pulled off another impressive job to keep them in the Championship last season. Meanwhile, caretaker boss Barrett has dropped from 10-1 last week to now being 16-1. This is written by the new guy that sometimes, I think his name's Cairo. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be the city in Egypt, but spelled differently. I think it's Cairo. You can tell he's not a betting man because he's not using the right lingo. Meanwhile, caretaker boss Barrett has come in. Oh, he's gone out. The odds come in and they go out. Dropped. If you would say to dropped, it would be 16-1 to 10-1. That's not dropping. It's kind of weird how they do it. It's like golf score. The lower is better. So you wouldn't say dropped. You don't drop from 10-1 to 16-1. You go out. You come in. So Barrett's gone out from 10-1 to 16-1 with BetVictor. He's overseen 2 competitive Millwall performances, but only has 1 point to show for his efforts so far. The 43-year-old is expected to manage his 3rd game in charge on Saturday, which will match the same amount of games he managed in 2019. There will then be a week's break before a home game against Southampton and another week's break before a trip to Sheffield Wednesday, which could theoretically give the club space to make and announce an appointment. Following the game at Hillsborough is the final international break of the year, which would present a bigger window to introduce a new head coach and give them time to settle in. There you go. Now moving on. Injury news. Another injury. How bad is it? Well, set to undergo a scan. Mill defender set to undergo a scan, but experienced duo both set to resume training today. And this is from londonnewsonline.co.uk, the South London Press's online website. Mill defender Joe Bryan is set to have a scan on his groin injury this morning. The former Fulham fullback was forced off the issue in the second half of Tuesday's 2-1 defeat to Blackburn Rovers. Bryan missed 2 championship matches in September with an injury in the same area. The 30-year-old had started the last 4 league games, but lasted 53 minutes of the midweek reverse. Millwall caretaker boss Adam Barrett told the South London Press, Oh, he went off injured, and it was very sore. Everyone saw him hobble off. He'll go for a scan this morning, and we'll find out the extent of what it is. Until we have that scan result, we won't know how long he'll be missing for. The Lions could be boosted by the return of Kevin Nisbet and Sean Hutchinson. Former Hibernian striker Nisbet recently withdrew from international duty with Scotland due to a hamstring strain, while Hutchinson had been out since early September with a calf problem. Hopefully, they can both join in with the group today, said Barrett. That will be a real positive. Hutch has missed a hell of a lot, and this will be his first training session, so we just have to see how he comes through today. Hopefully, Nizzy will be back for us today, and he hasn't missed much. Whether they are okay for Saturday, we'll just have to wait and see. Millwall head to Watford on Saturday. The Hornets are one spot above their opponents in 15th after a 1-0 win at Swansea on Tuesday. They have won back-to-back league games. They're a strong squad, as you'd expect, and they're starting to find a little bit of form, said Barrett. They've got match winners in the team. You know, Valerian Ishmael team is going to be tough. We're expecting a difficult challenge, but one we're really looking forward to, going there and trying to bring back some points. Barrett felt that Blackburn's opening goal, scored by Joe Rankin Costello, was offside and has spoken to the match officials since. There were a lot of positives, especially the second half. Blackburn are a dangerous side, but we just needed a little more composure and quality in certain areas like the final third. It's the way things are going for us at the moment. At home, the first goal's offside. I spoke to the referees yesterday. I had a good chat with them, and they realised that some of the decisions they got wrong. Then you need a bit of luck when Joe goes down injured with a free kick, and they break right where he is. The guy sticks in the top corner, and he hasn't scored in 4 years, and it's on his wrong foot. It's a good finish. At times we move the ball well. I just want to see a bit more energy and intensity for longer periods in the game. There are a lot of things we got right. There are definitely things to build on. We changed a few things and got some messages into them in a short space of time. It is difficult because we're patching people up. The quick turnaround of games means there are demands on a smaller squad. I'm very disappointed with the results, but we've got to take the positives into the game and look to build. Okay, moving on. More from Aaron Barrett. He's explaining the tactical switch to a back four. Well, I thought it was obvious because we want to attack more, but let's find out. This is from the southwarknews.co.uk. Adam Barrett explains tactical approach after Mill switch to a back four against Blackburn. Adam Barrett explains his reasoning after he switched to a 4-2-3-1 formation against Blackburn Rovers. The caretaker manager had done something similar to his predecessor Gary Rowett by fielding a back three in his opening game, a 1-1 draw with Preston North End, but it was back four in Tuesday night's defeat against Blackburn. Rowett had also switched between different systems in the weeks before leaving the Millwall job, with a back four also his preferred choice in his final game in charge, a 2-2 draw with Hull City. Formations and tactics had been a big talking point among fans earlier this season, with some keen for a return to playing with a back four and two wingers, which is commonly viewed as a more traditionally attacking formation. Asked about the shape against Blackburn, Barrett said, on the Preston game it was almost to match them up a little bit, and the turnaround was so quick from Gary going that we tweaked it a little bit. But I didn't want to make too many changes. I think if you play a back five against Blackburn at home, you just wouldn't get out. They overload the middle of the pitch, and we would have been left with less players in the middle of the pitch. And I like a four, especially at home. I wanted to get on the front foot with it. We were good in shape, but we could have pressed better. Second half is more what I want to see. Which part of the second half? The part when George Saville come on? Because that was my favourite part, him and George Honeyman. Makes you think, doesn't it? Maybe Gary Rowett would still be in a fucking job if he played George Saville. But hey ho! Let's go. We're moving on now to this. What is this I hear you say? It's got pink on it. What is it? Well, this is a thing that popped up. Someone wrote a thing about how Mill will play, and I'm going to read it to you because why not? It's called TotalFootballAnalysis.com. Yes, it's going beyond stat wankery. It's actually analysis of stat wankery. So, EFL Championship 23-24, assessing Mill's inconsistent start to the season, a tactical analysis by Alexandra Hunt, aged 17 3/4. It's been a case of one step forward, two steps back for Millwall this season. Following 3 consecutive losses in all competitions in August, the Lions thought they might be starting to turn a corner with victory over Stoke City. However, since then they've been unable to really get going in the league. It was such an indifferent start that it led to the departure of Gary Rowett, who left by mutual consent. He wasn't fired. During the recent international break, Millwall had cemented themselves as a top mid-table side under Rowett, finishing no lower than 11th in England's second tier. The stumbling block in Rowett's tenure was Mill's inability to finish inside the playoff spots. They had looked dead certain to do so last season, occupying a position in the top 6 for the majority of the campaign. I don't think we did. Did we? No, because we kind of, after Christmas, we bombed up there. We were there or thereabouts, and then after Christmas, we went up there. And I said it last season, the Luton game, where if we would have won that, we had a chance at top 2, and we didn't. We fucked it up late on, and that kind of fucked up the rest of the campaign. And then we go to the end, the last game of the season. We're still in it somehow. All we need to do is win. Easier said than done. We're 3-1 up at half time, and it falls apart in the second half. Oy vey. The Lions ultimately finished 8th. Prior to the start of this 23-24 campaign, expectations at the Den were to go one step further and improve on last season's finishing. Well, yeah, that's because of all the money that was spent in the summer, you know. No doubt players that Gary Rowett would have wanted. It's not like John Berylson just bought players and said, here, put this guy in the team. He's not like other chairmen who do that. However, at the time of writing, Millwall sit 14th. Well, this was written before the midweek games in the EFL Championship and are the division's 3rd lowest scorers. In this tactical analysis, we will assess Mill's inconsistent start to the season and compare it with previous campaigns. We will also provide analysis of the tactics imposed by Rowett to determine why the East London side have struggled at home this season, as well as its impact on the team performance. Right, an underwhelming start, no fucking shit. Rowett arrived at the Den in October 2019 and until his departure had been the second longest serving manager in the Championship behind Coventry City's Mark Robins. Rowett's Millwall often struggled for goals, but their strengths lay in their defensive play, as they were a hard team to beat. Hard man for dead. Millwall's strong defensive performances during Rowett's time are shown in the table above. It is noticeable, however, that Millwall's goals against per match rate had increased marginally this season. This, coupled with low scoring rates at lower levels than in previous seasons, has contributed to a slow start for the East London side. So last season, 22-23, 46 games, 57 goals scored. That is an average of 1.24. Even though we are only 11 games into this season, we have reverted. Not reverted to last season or the season before last season. We have reverted to 2020-21. We are now at, well, worse than that, slightly under. We are averaging a goal a game. That's not good. Not only that, but our goals against is the worst it's ever been over the last seasons when Gary Rowett's been involved. We are now 13 goals against in 11 games. That is an average of 1.18 per game. Again, worse than the season 2020-21 where it's 1.13. But that was over the old season. Can we improve? I fucking do hope so. Do we need to improve? Probably not, because I think the 3 shit teams at the bottom will be the 3 shit teams that go down. And I think there might even be like last season some funny business with points deductions that will save us, but that's a massive drop there. That's a massive drop from 1.24 to 1. And you know why that was? You know why that is? You know why that is? Because what happened at the start of last season? We were playing the shit formation. Then Gary Rowett changed it. And then we started actually getting results. And then we went on a winning run. We had 2 strikers that actually scored a lot of goals. Was it 15 and 13 or something like that? So there you go. So what does Gary Rowett do? Genius that he is. He buys some players that will help him go back to the formation that he wants to play, which is 5-3-2, whatever you call it, 3-5-2. Namely, last couple of seasons we've loaned in a centre back, so he's obviously thinks that we need a centre back, a younger one, Cresswell and Ballard. But this season, no, we're not doing that. We're going to get a right back in, a right wing back, because I want to play with 2 wing backs. So we're going to get one of them in, and then we're going to get Joe Bryan in, and then we're going to get a striker. Even though we've just had a season where we've got a player who scored 15 goals and another one who scored 13, we're gonna bring a player in who's probably going to be expected to start and piss both of those players off. So brilliant stuff there from the recruitment team. Here, the plot above, you see that, evaluates the performance of clubs in the EFL Championship this season before this midweek fixtures now, by means of expected goal difference and actual goal difference. Teams in the top left quadrant can be considered overachieving, while those in the bottom right are underachieving. The teams positioned in the top right and bottom left quadrants perform as expected. So do you get that? So we are performing as expected, but that's not very good. As you can see, there are 3 teams at the bottom that are way adrift. What is this? This is so what expected goals for and expected goals against. That's how many chances you create. And then it's actual goals and actual goals against, which gives you a goal difference that you see in the table. And they compare the two. So obviously, if you have a lot of chances, but you fuck them all up, it's going to move you down. So that's what that means. And you can see it literally looks how the table looks, doesn't it? And it's saying we are one of the worst 6 teams in the league. Rotherham United, QPR, Sheffield Wednesday massively cut adrift. Then it's Huddersfield, Stoke City and Millwall. So there you go. And they've got Blackburn, Watford and Middlesbrough as underperforming. So those are the teams that should be doing better. But we are performing as expected, but that's just not very good. Hey, and Leicester City are way and above. I think I said this in the season preview video. I think they're going to win the league. So yeah. So whilst Mill's actual goal difference -2 is marginally better than expected -3.7, it's shown that Mill have been amongst the worst performing sides in the division this season. Yeah, bottom 6. This suggests that there has been a lack of progression in team results from previous seasons. Well, no shit, because we went back to the shit formation. Which not only that, we've now got the players that we're stuck in this formation. It's like fucking Gary Rowett did it on purpose. Is this like a long-term plan? Former Charlton player Gary Rowett. It was his deep-seated plan to fuck us over like this by spending a load of money on players that can only play in a certain shit formation. This suggests that there's been a lack of progression in team results from previous seasons, likely contributing to Rowett's exit for a side of promotion aspirations. It is plausible that Rowett took his former side as far as he could. However, it could be construed that Rowett's dismissal may have been slightly premature, given Mill's recent history of making slow starts to the season. In the last 3 seasons before this campaign, the Lions have averaged 15 points in the first 11 matches. This is precisely the same as what Mill accumulated under Rowett this season. It is therefore plausible that given more time, Rowett could have turned things around. How? By being bullied by the fans into changing his formation again? Even though he bought players to go back to the shit formation that didn't work last season. You fucking tell me. What the fuck is that shit about? However, a positive take from the Millwall season so far is their away form. Since August, they remain unbeaten away from the Den, as 56% of their total league points have come away from home. The bar chart in pink and yellow and purple, nice, shows that Mill's successes on the road coincide with fewer possessions on average. For instance, in the opening fixture against Middlesbrough, the Lions won 1-0 with only 32% possession. They recently beat Plymouth 2-0 at home park with only 35% possession. So that is the secret to our success. So at home, what we need to do is just keep giving the ball to the opposition. And then, I don't know, I haven't thought that far ahead, but that's what stats prove. So we need to just keep giving the ball to the opposition, and then That's how it works, yeah? During the matches against Barrett and Argyle, Mill kept a deeper defensive line than average, allowing the opposition to dominate the ball and commit players forward. The above image shows Mill regaining possession from Borough, who have committed 7 players forward, and the right back Paddy McNair is caught in a central position in the Mill half. The ball is then played out to the left side touchdown, with the advancing Adomu and Maka to chase, stretching the Middlesbrough back line. So yeah, that's how we stretched. We need to move the defenders around, and how you do that is you play so deep. So we need to play deep at home. Is that how it works? And then just hit over the top. I don't know. Imaku uses his pace to sprint past McNair, who's too late with his tackle. Imaku eventually provides a low assist for Romain Essa to fire Mill into the lead. On occasions like this, Mill will do well, as they often look to play very direct when they can dispossess their opponent. If only we had a target man up front. Instead, we bought a left wing back, a right wing back, and a striker, a wee striker. It's shown here that Mill commit in the middle of the pitch, making the space compact for the opponent. This is at the Den, no? Mill were able to break away following a successful tackle and drive forward by holding shape and not engaging the more forward players in the press. The forwards are able to engage in the attacking play if such a counter as above occurs. Route's former side would often look to press in the middle third of the pitch just as the opposition are looking to progress their attacking phase. And they completed 7.83 tackles in the middle third per 90 minutes, which is the third highest in the division. So that's how we do. We press and we get the ball and we quickly break. The direct style of play suits Mill, but they've struggled at home when the opposition allows them possession. So if we get a team that keeps giving us possession, we should keep giving them possession back to them. Say, no, you take it. To you, to me, to you. Like the Chuckle Brothers. They lack pace and drive in the attacking phase, struggling to play through teams. The players continually passed around the back with no obvious options in the midfield until someone pumps it long. The transition from the defensive line to midfield is then stagnant. The ball is eventually worked back to the goalkeeper, who launches it forward, or Murray Wallace. He loves launching it forward as well. A common theme in such scenarios like that is Mill eventually plays the ball long. However, such long balls can reduce passing accuracy and give possession back to the opposite. Well, that's what we want. We want them to have possession. But it would be nice if we actually had a target man to aim to, wouldn't it? The Den can be another forgiving environment, even for the home side. If Mill struggle to get a grip of a match at home early doors, the rest of the match can become an uphill battle. Three at the back debate. Well, here we go. Whilst the 3-4-3 formation has been worthwhile away from home, there is much debate amongst Mill supporters as to the best formation to utilise. Mill started last season with 3 at the back, but their upturn in form coincided. This is what I was saying. We're switching to the 4-2-3-1 formation. The change in tactic led them to be undefeated in 73% of the following 33 league matches when starting with this formation. So why in God's name did Gary Rowett spend all that money getting players that could then only play in a 5-3-2? What the fuck was that shit? Rowett did experiment with 3 at the back in the penultimate game last season, would often change formation during matches. He seemed keen to implement a defensive 3 for this season, switching to a 3-4-1-2 during pre-season. The idea was that having 2 up front would create more opportunities to score goals. The switching formation does not seem to have had the desired effect though. Millwall scored 1.33 goals per match when starting with this formation. On the other hand, when Millwall have lined up in a 4-2-3-1 from the start of this season, they have scored 1.5 goals per match. Zion Fleming and Tom Bradshaw linked up well last season under the 4-2-3-1. Hello. But he wasn't fired, remember, he wasn't fired, he was mutually departed. In this instance, Bradshaw was able to beat the ball down to Fleming, who could dispatch his effort, although Bradshaw has been slightly hampered by injury this season. Both players have been less effective in front of goal this campaign. Fleming's goals per 90 rate have dropped by 26%, while Bradshaw's has fallen by 72%. Bradshaw had finished Mill's top goal scorer last season with 17 goals. He had 17 goals. This was the highest goal tally by any Millwall player in the Championship since 2004. which they're saying that was the first year of the Championship, was it? It was before that. It was called like Division 1. Was it Division 1? I guess. I don't know. I know it was called Division 1 back then. With both players unable to replicate last season's form, it seems unsurprising that Millwall has seen a decline in goal rate per match this season. Millwall have been much weaker defensively when starting with back four at the back this season. They've conceded 2.5 goals per match with a back four compared to conceding 1.18 goals per game with a back three in all competitions. Mill's defence knows how to grind out results, but Barrett's preference for three at the back this season seemed logical to provide a wide attacking outlet with wing-backs who could also track defensively to form a back five. Moreover, playing three at the back gave the back line strength in numbers, as the centre-back options at the Den lack pace. In the above image, when playing a 4-2-3-1, Hull's Jadon Philogene has beaten the offside trap. That's quite a high line. I haven't seen us play a high line like that since Mark McGee was manager. Has beaten the offside trap, and then Stuart Nethercott was playing in that team. He wasn't very quick. And outpaces the Millwall back four. Moreover, on the right hand side, Scott's Twine has beaten Joe Bryan with pace to offer support in the attack. Well, you got Joe Bryan playing left back. He's a left wing back. Like I'm saying, you wasted all this money on a geezer that's better at left wing back rather than a left back. See, it's like if you change, you can't change back to the formation now because the players that go to that formation aren't suited for it. They're worse in that formation. He's not an out-and-out left back. Murray Wallace is, but he's not very quick either. A deeper, extra centre-back in this instance may have helped Millwall and given the opposition much less space to exploit. Despite the advantages of back three, defensive elements of the Lions' play have not quite met the same standards as last season. Millwall have made fewer interceptions this season at 9.33 per 90 compared to 10.2 per 90 in the league last season. A reduction in interceptions is likely to have meant fewer opportunities to transition from defence to attack quickly. So, because our defence is worse than it was last season, that would be, they're saying that's caused us to concede more goals, but it's also caused us to not be as attacking because that's how we attack. We tackle, we intercept, and we bomb it quick, directly. So not being able to do that has fucked up both ends. This is just confetti. I don't know what the fuck this shit is. This looks a bit weird to me. I don't know what the square's supposed to be. I don't know what that is. But let's read about it. The graphic shows that Millwall have kept a slightly deeper defensive line this season. Moreover, they are committing more fouls in the defensive third. The Lions have committed the second highest number of fouls in this division this season at 14.1 per match. Committing such fouls obviously give possession back to the opponent and therefore limits Millwall from regaining possession. For a side that has inferior possession rates, generally it seems folly to give possession to the opposition in such a way. However, it is a potential tactic to frustrate the opposition and prevent them from getting into an attacking stride. Millwall have shown they commit to defending set plays this season, as only themselves and Ipswich have yet to concede from a free kick or corner. So, we're shit at defending, we're haphazard, and we're giving away a lot. It's causing us to give away a lot of fouls, but luckily we can defend from them because we haven't conceded yet. It's shown in the above match still the high line that Millwall dot when defending free kicks. The East London outfit are a very organised unit defensively and dominate aerially as they often win the first ball when defending such plays. So that's Jake Cooper there. It's shown that here that two players are positioned slightly advanced of the defensive line, but all outfield players we don't leave anyone up. That's probably why as well. We don't leave anyone up, so when we do defend it, we can't even get the ball up anyway. We literally just kick it out for a throw-in and then we go again. And it's just piling more and more pressure on. Which is utterly bizarre. I think people mentioned it, like even at like I don't think any other clubs must do that. I don't think they do that. I think most teams leave at least one player up. We just bring everyone back. Come back to defend, highlighting that Millwall defend quite compactly. There appear strong foundations to build on at the Den. Conclusion. In this tactical analysis, we have shown that Mill's lacklustre start to the season is consistent with the last 3 seasons overseen by Barrett. We have determined that the Lions' direct style of play has been more suited away from home this campaign. The East London side have tended to get better results when having less possession than their respective opponents. We have shown the advantages and disadvantages of the changing tactical shape adopted by Barrett this season. More tactical decisiveness will be needed if Millwall to progress this season. They have shown that they can be a strong defensive unit this campaign, but need to show more authority in their attacking play if they are to challenge for promotion. Rowett's replacement will be tasked with finding a level of consistency at the Den if Millwall are going to progress and turn their underwhelming season around, but it's certainly achievable if the last 3 seasons are anything to go by. Yeah. Pretty much spot on, isn't it? So what do we do? I don't know. What do we do? We obviously want to go back to this 4-2-3-1 formation that actually works so well, but we don't have the players to do it. Because how do you fit Joe Bryan and Brook Norwood with Cuffy into that system? Because they're not really left back and right back. So how the fuck do you play? Well, how can we have a team that plays 4 at the back when we don't have the players to do it now? Barrett has completely fucked us up with this recruitment in the summer. So how the fuck are we supposed to do that? We wait till January and get the proper players in? I don't know. But a bit of a fucking nightmare, to be honest with you. If they're saying that the way we play involves us winning the ball back in the middle of the full field, maybe we have to play 3 in the middle, 4-3-3. Don't know, 4-1-4-1. I don't know, fucking something. We play Campbell, Saville, and Inury. Get 3 of them in the fucking middle of the pitch, kicking people out around and getting the ball. I don't know. You got to do something in you, but fuck me if I know. I'm not a football coach. Now, it turns out that the new podcast from the South London Press, called the South London Press Football Pod, is a weekly affair. It's episode 2 is out now. This week it's featuring, this is episode 2, Richard Corley, Edmund Brack, Adam Sells, and they're discussing everything to do with Crystal Palace, Millwall, Charlton, and AFC Wimbledon. So they're talking about the managerial hunt at the Den, so that should be interesting to listen to. And then the rest of the shit you can just switch it off, I guess, unless you want to know about Charlton. On the Spotify at the moment and Apple Podcasts. So there you go. South London Press are doing a podcast. Kind of they've gone on multimedia, unlike the Southwark News have decided just write more and get people to pay for articles behind the paywall. Will that work? I guess, because I think most of the people that watch their stuff are like older people. So kind of you people watching this video now, how are you doing? A lot of 50s, 60s, maybe some even 70-year-olds. So there you go. Which tactic will work? Audio or words on a page? I don't know. Hopefully both of them, but we'll see. It's good to have two local papers that follow the team and put out a lot of content about Millwall. And it's not most of it's quite interesting. Not a lot of shit generally. So yeah, just give them a listen. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Crack on. So on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.